Some shocking and exclusive news coming out of NewsNation's special border report last night. A Border Patrol agent telling us they believe the cartels are fully in control of the southern border. That interview, part of a special edition of Dan Abrams Live, focusing on the realities at the border faced by agents every single day. Our reporting comes as members of the House Judiciary Committee hold a field hearing in Arizona today. It's happening right now, in fact, to get local insight on the myriad issues facing border communities. NewsNation border correspondent Allie Bradley live in Texas for us. Allie, the agent you interviewed, who wished to remain anonymous, essentially saying Border Patrol is not the one who is in control.
Yeah, and Alex, that's something that we've been reporting here at NewsNation, but hearing it straight from kind of the horse's mouth here, the people on the front lines, it really gives you a different feeling to what really is happening down here. Hearing them say, we are not in control of the southern border, the cartels are. So let's take a listen to what that agent said specifically about the problems here. What do you believe is one of the things that everyday ordinary Americans don't understand about the southern border?
The biggest thing is that we do not control the border. The cartel controls the border. Usually we're chasing around pawns while the kings and queens are doing whatever they want.
Now, Border Patrol is saying that they're always in kind of a reactionary standpoint down here, saying the cartel's always 1, 2, maybe even 5 steps ahead of them, usually with the high ground. They're always watching what's happening over on this side. They have scouts that are over on the U.S. side as well. So when it comes to protecting America, while this agent said that they would sign up for this job all over again, knowing what they know now, they say that Americans need to protect themselves because no one is coming. Take a listen to that part of that interview.
You know, the media is only reporting what they can report on, right? Which is, statistically speaking, a small percentage of the actual bad guys that we're catching. Who's getting through. The really good ones we will never catch. You can't pay attention to the matches that are walking through the border when all you can see is the little bonfire. Our border is by no means secure.
Now, that agent saying that they can't focus on the matches. What they mean by that here, Alex, is the people who are trying to evade, trying to slip through and not get caught by Border Patrol. And that's what we were doing last night while we were embedded with Texas DPS for this border special. They go after the matches, the people who jump the wall, and within moments, they're picked up by a load vehicle and it's off to the races. They end up in the interior of our community. That's what they go after here. They're trying to get the smuggler so that they can arrest that smuggler and kind of cut him off at their knees. And they're also trying to kind of rescue those migrants in a sense. Yes, they get turned over to Border Patrol, but these pursuits and these scenarios are very dangerous. And it's very hot out here as well, Alex. So right now is a time when a lot of migrants lose their lives just trying to get into the U.S. So hearing the border is not secure from an agent who is actively in the fight against this border crisis was pretty staggering and shocking. And Alex, the feedback I've gotten is every agent I've talked to, they say they agree and they wish that they could go on and talk about it, but they fear for their own future and, you know, their livelihood and what would happen to them in the investigations that would ensue from the federal agency if they speak openly. Alex.
Yeah, very brave from that Border Patrol agent to come on camera, share their thoughts with us, and really remarkable reporting last night, Allie. I was glued to my seat. It's incredible what 1 hour on the southern border can really show. High-speed chases and arrests and everything in between.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.